Hey everyone, this is a very special appreciation video because we finally hit 100 subscribers. I'm so happy and grateful right now. In this video, I want to do something different. I am going to share some real-life horror incidents that actually happened with me. So let's start. You know, some incidents in life leave such a deep mark on you that even after years you still get chills thinking about them. One of the most terrifying experiences I ever had was when I was returning home from college late at night. It was during my final semester exams. I had stayed back in the library till almost 9:30 p.m. because I needed to finish some important notes. When I came out, the entire campus area was deserted. Most of the lights were off, and there were very few people around. I started walking towards the main gate, which was almost a 15-minute walk from the library. At first, everything seemed normal, but after a couple of minutes, I noticed a guy on a black bike. He was riding very slowly behind me. I thought maybe he was also leaving, but then I realized something was wrong. Every time I walked faster, he would speed up. When I slowed down a little, he would slow down too. My heart started pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. I was completely alone on that dark road. There was no one I could ask for help. I took out my phone with shaking hands and called my best friend. I started speaking loudly, describing everything that was happening so the guy could hear me. I even told her the color of the bike and what the guy was wearing. After almost 5 minutes of this, he finally overtook me and disappeared into the darkness. But even after that, I kept turning around again and again, feeling like he might come back any second. When I finally reached the main road and took an auto, I was still trembling. That entire night, I couldn't sleep. Every small sound in the house made me scared. After that incident, I made a promise to myself: never stay late in college again, no matter how important the work is. Even today, when I think about that night, I get the same uneasy feeling. Another incident that still haunts me till today happened on a highway at night. We were returning from a family function, and it was already very late, around 1:30 a.m. The highway was almost empty, with only a few trucks passing by occasionally. Suddenly, our car started making strange noises, and after a few minutes, it completely broke down. My father pulled over on the side of the highway. It was pitch dark all around. Only the headlights of our car were cutting through the darkness. My dad and brother got out to check the car. I stayed inside for some time, but then I really needed to use the washroom. There was a small roadside dhaba about 50 meters ahead that was still open. My mom told me to go quickly. I took the torch from the car and started walking towards it. As soon as I reached near the washroom area, I felt someone watching me. There was a man standing in the shadows near the trees. He was just staring at me without saying anything. I quickly finished and started walking back towards the car. That's when I heard footsteps behind me. I turned around and saw the same man following me slowly. His face was not clearly visible, but his eyes were fixed on me. My legs started shaking. I began walking faster, but he also increased his speed. I was so terrified that I started running. The man started running behind me. In that moment, I felt pure horror, like something bad was going to happen any second. I screamed loudly for my dad while running. Just as I reached near our car, my father and brother saw me and rushed towards me. The man immediately stopped and disappeared back into the darkness. That night we somehow got the car fixed and left that place, but I couldn't stop crying. I kept feeling like that man was still following us. Even after reaching home, I had nightmares for many days. I would wake up in the middle of the night thinking someone was standing near my bed. After that incident, I became extremely scared of traveling on highways at night. Even now, whenever I'm on a highway after sunset, that same fear comes back. The third incident is one that still makes my blood run cold whenever I remember it. This happened when I was home alone during the afternoon. My parents had gone out for some important work, and my brother was also not at home. I was watching some videos in my room with the door locked. Around 2:30 p.m. the doorbell suddenly rang. At first I ignored it, thinking it might be some random salesman, but it rang again and again. I went to the door quietly and looked through the peephole. A man in a delivery uniform was standing outside holding a package. I didn't remember ordering anything, so I asked loudly from behind the closed door, "Who is it and who sent this package?" He gave some random company name and said it was urgent. I told him to leave it outside, but he kept insisting that I had to sign for it and open the door. His voice started sounding aggressive. I got suspicious and told him clearly that I was not opening the door, and if he didn't leave I would call the police right now. For a few seconds there was silence. Then he said something very strange. "Madam, I know you are alone at home. Just open the door once." My heart almost stopped. How did he know I was alone? I hadn't said anything like that. At that moment, pure fear took over. I ran to my room, locked it from inside, and called my father with shaking hands. While talking to him, I could still hear the man moving outside the main door. I switched on the CCTV camera on my phone. What I saw gave me chills. The man was not leaving. He was standing there looking around, checking the windows and the balcony area. He waited for almost 12 to 15 minutes even after I threatened him with the police. He kept looking at his phone and then at the house as if he was waiting for something. Finally, when he heard some noise from the neighboring house, he quickly left. When my parents came back, we checked the full CCTV footage. We saw that he had actually come to our street twice before that day, once in the morning also. He was not a real delivery person. His uniform looked fake. The police said he might have been watching the house for some time. That day I felt completely helpless and terrified inside my own home. For many weeks after that I couldn't stay alone even during the day. Every small sound made me panic. I used to keep all the curtains closed and double-check every lock. Even now, whenever the doorbell rings when I'm alone, that same fear comes rushing back. This incident taught me how unsafe it can be even in your own house if you are not careful. If you ever get a phone call late at night from an unknown number, don't answer it. Because 2 years ago, I answered one call at 3:17 a.m. and I still regret it. This happened to me when I was 21 years old. At the time, I was living alone in a small apartment in Texas while working night shifts at a restaurant. Because of my schedule, I usually stayed awake pretty late, sometimes until 4 or 5 in the morning. So when my phone rang at 3:17 a.m. one night, I answered without thinking. The number was unknown. At first, I didn't hear anything except static. Then I heard breathing. Slow, heavy breathing. I immediately got annoyed and said, "Hello." No response. Just breathing. I thought it was some random creep trying to prank call me, so I hung up. About 30 seconds later, the phone rang again. Same unknown number. This time, I answered more aggressively. "Who is this?" For a few seconds, there was complete silence. Then I heard a woman whisper, "Don't look outside." My stomach dropped instantly. Before I could say anything else, the call disconnected. I remember sitting there frozen on my bed staring at my phone. At first, I tried convincing myself it was just a prank, but something about her voice sounded wrong. Terrified. Like she was warning me about something. A few moments later, my phone buzzed again. This time it was a text message from the same number. I said, "Don't look outside." At that point, I started panicking. I checked all my doors and windows to make sure everything was locked. Then I tried calling the number back. It went straight to voicemail. No name. No greeting. Nothing. I should have called the police right then. But honestly, I was embarrassed. I thought maybe one of my coworkers was trying to scare me. About 10 minutes passed before I finally started calming down again. Then, I heard something outside my apartment. Footsteps. Slow footsteps moving through the gravel near my bedroom window. Crunch, crunch, crunch. I stopped breathing. My apartment was on the first floor and my bedroom window faced the parking lot outside. The curtains were closed, but I could hear someone walking back and forth outside. Then my phone rang again. Unknown number. My hands were shaking as I answered. The same woman whispered, "He sees you." I felt ice run through my entire body. "What are you talking about?" I asked. But before she could respond, I heard another voice in the background. A man's voice. Deep. Angry. "Who are you talking to?" The woman suddenly started crying softly. Then the call ended. At this point, I was completely terrified. I grabbed a kitchen knife and locked myself inside the bathroom while trying to calm down. Then came another text message. Whatever happens, do not look outside the window. I didn't understand what was happening, but the fear in her messages felt real. Too real. About 5 minutes later, I heard knocking on my apartment door. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. I stayed completely silent. Then someone knocked again. Harder this time. Vanessa. The voice outside was male. I nearly screamed, because I had never told the caller my name. The man knocked again. Vanessa. I know you're inside. At that moment, my phone rang once more. Unknown number. I answered immediately. The woman sounded panicked now. He's not supposed to know your name. Then suddenly she screamed. Not a normal scream. A horrifying scream filled with absolute terror. The line disconnected immediately afterward. And, at the exact same moment, the knocking at my apartment door stopped. Complete silence. I stayed hidden in the bathroom for almost an hour before finally hearing police sirens outside. Apparently, one of my neighbors had reported suspicious behavior in the parking lot. When officers searched the area, they found nobody. But they did find something terrifying. Fresh, muddy footprints directly outside my bedroom window. And, according to police, it looked like someone had been standing there for a long time, watching. After that night, I changed my phone number and tried moving on with my life. But strange things kept happening. Sometimes I'd get random calls with nothing but static. Other times I'd hear breathing through the phone before the caller disconnected. Months later, curiosity finally got the best of me. I decided to search the unknown number online, and what I found made me physically sick. The number had belonged to a woman named Erica who disappeared almost 4 years earlier. According to online articles, Erica vanished after calling 911 repeatedly claiming someone was stalking her. Her body was never found. But there was one detail police released publicly that terrified me. On the night she disappeared, neighbors reported seeing a man standing outside her apartment window for hours, watching her. I remember staring at the article unable to breathe properly, because the calls I received came from her number. That should have been impossible. The number was disconnected years ago. A few nights later, I was lying in bed trying not to think about everything when my phone suddenly rang again. Unknown number. 3:17 a.m. I wanted to ignore it. I really did. But eventually, I answered. For several seconds, there was only static. Then I heard Erica whisper one final sentence. He found you. Suddenly, I heard movement outside my bedroom window. Slow footsteps. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Tears filled my eyes as I slowly turned toward the curtains. And then, a shadow stopped directly outside the window. Completely still. Just standing there, watching me. Then my phone disconnected. And 3 seconds later, someone knocked on the glass. Tap, tap, tap. I moved out of that apartment the next morning. I changed cities, changed jobs, changed everything. But sometimes, even now, my phone rings at exactly 3:17 a.m. Unknown number. And every single time, I let it ring. Because deep down, I know if I answer again, something terrible is finally going to happen to me.